Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. Just 6 days left in this month of February. Holy cow, March 1st, right around the corner. And it's game day today. I am fired up as my Uconn Huskies face Villanova at the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. Fox will be there, Fox Sports, 8 o'clock tip-off. A game that the numbers, it's kind of comical, where a week ago, Ken Palm had Nova -2. 4 days ago, they had Villanova -1. Last night, Ken Palm had Uconn -1. And the line currently, as we stand, is Uconn -2, -2.5 at William Hill, an under-over that opened at 137 and a hook, and is now 137 or 138 at William Hill. Got asked by a lot of people. Potentially could be on with our buddy Dave Sharapan and Matt Peralt today on my way up there on Props US. Had some people from VEASAN reach out to me and my thoughts. And what I'm going to say basically is this: I talked 2.5 weeks ago at Circa. They released the odds to win the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. Villanova was -140. Uconn, the second favorite, at +500, which we pounced on. And I thought that was really an eye-opener, seeing Providence was leading the Big East. Marquette was ahead of Uconn, and some other teams were playing better than Uconn. This was after the Creighton loss. And so I thought that was extreme value. And Vegas telling us, guys, hey, Uconn's the team to beat other than Villanova. And Circa released yesterday the updated odds, and Uconn is now +360 to win the Big East tournament. Anyone listening, watching today that doesn't have that, go to your app, go to your sports book, reach out, grab that +360 money. If you didn't get the +500 money, I think it's amazing value. I think Uconn will be in the championship game at Madison Square Garden, whether they square off against Nova, Providence, whoever it is. I think they got a hell of a chance to win the Big East tournament. And tonight's game, I don't like the number, meaning Villanova was -4.5 at Providence a week ago. Now, the XL Center is not Gamble. Guys got to realize that. It's like way back in the day, the Celtics playing at Hartford and calling it home court. And now, they're playing at the Garden. It's apples and oranges there. At Gamble, you got the bowl effect. The kids are right on top of the floor, the court. And here it just doesn't have that feeling. Not that it's not going to be loud, not that it's not going to be ruckus and crazy, but it's a different environment. It's a different feeling than being on campus. So enough with that. Let's bring in our co-host, the man from the Palm Tree State himself, the one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Jeff. Sounds like a fun-filled afternoon and evening for you today.
I'm excited. It's technically my last game of the year. They have one more home game left next Saturday at home against DePaul. I will be partaking in a locals bowling tournament. So will be giving my tickets either to my daughter or some students to enjoy the last home game. I've had a great run with my season tickets. I got them because of my daughter. I got them because they were entering the Big East. With that all said, I don't know where my youngest is going. I know she's got her heart set on Syracuse. We're waiting to hear back from them. Uconn is right up there. So if my youngest ends up going to Uconn, then I will hold on to my season tickets. If not, I will be relinquishing my season tickets about 10 rows off the court.
Well, I mean, it is all part of what you do in life, right? And then priorities change, and as we go along, things move in different directions. You'll be getting a helicopter and heading to Syracuse games.
Yeah, I don't think I will be buying season tickets for the Qs. Driving, it's 6 hours, give or take a few minutes, depending upon weather, obviously. There is an airport 15 minutes away, and it's a quick 40-minute flight to and from Syracuse to Boston. So we'll be using that probably more often than not. But we'll wait and see what happens. We've already got accepted to Temple, which I don't think we'll be going to Temple, and Merrimack and Sacred Heart, I think was. But it is what it is. NBA still off. And we got an action-packed card today. First, shout out to all our listeners, our loyal listeners, Mr. Lucky, Mr. Gary Brown, Mr. Billy Culin, Mr. Marty Lowe, and all our Twitch and YouTube followers as well. Yesterday, if you listened to the show, the one game that just stuck out like a sore thumb was Florida State -1 at Boston College. I mean, this was just like an eye-opener. It's almost like if you asked Florida State before the game if they could stay home versus coming. I think they left their sneakers at Logan. The first flash I saw was 11-0 Florida State. So congrats to anyone that was listening that jumped on Boston College last night. Box to wire, easy win there. The other game that I was really eyeing initially later in the day was San Francisco. They've been a juggernaut in a wagon. They were 13.5-point favorites. They win by 25. As for the ECSI VIP guys, we got fortunate enough, had a team total on Carolina over 3.5. We get there 4-3 in overtime. We bit the cheese or bought the hook, whatever you want to say, on Eastern Illinois, the overnight correction. They got blasted. And then we got the cheese of the day, the stench. It was kind of funny. There was a handful of hockey games, and the dogs were just flying in. The Bruins against Colorado was one of them. We bit the cheese. We had the Leafs -1.5 at Montreal, who had just played the night before. This game got steamed to over -400 on the money line. And let's just say the Habs were up 5-0 in the second period. So thanks for playing there. It is what it is. We went 1-2 for the day, but we're here today, Scotty. We're going to break down this board here. We're going to see what happened overnight, try to lead you guys in the right direction and get you to the promised land. Any questions, comments, concerns, you can always find me at EC Sports Investor, Scotty at Webby20MLB. If you're not following us, please follow us now. And if you haven't already, jump on over to YouTube at East Coast Sports Investors. Subscribe. It's free. Smash the like button. Do what you got to do, and let's have a day. 1 second here. All right, here's the board. There is a 1:00 game. St. Thomas at North Dakota opened up a pick. Now North Dakota -1.5. 78% of the bets, 93% of the money, all coming in on North Dakota. If you ask me to name one player on either side, I couldn't. So I don't know. Is there, for shits and giggles, even though it is a 1:00 start, I bet you're getting some action, Scott. We'll go with what, about $4,000 on this game?
No, I think you'll be shocked. It's the only game right at 1:00. Yep. So that's where everybody's putting their money. There's $13,000 on the game so far. 77% of the money and 75% of the tickets are on North Dakota. I obviously the later games are going to get heavier bet as we go, and there's a couple of them that are in double digits right now, but 13,000 is pretty big.
Just buyer beware, guys. I'm going to tell you this: if this game was a 7 or 8 o'clock tip-off, okay, there wouldn't be 1,300 on the whole day or night. So I know it's the only game in town. I know you got to scratch an itch. Just be careful there. That's all I'm going to say there. Yale at Dartmouth. This game smells a little to me. 6:03, 6:04, a 6 o'clock start. Yale opened at 2.5, now 3. 68% of the bets, 61% of the money on Yale.
Yeah, only $4,400 on this one. 82% of the money, 80% of the tickets on Yale.
Yeah, just keep an eye on that one. Dartmouth, I think they're looking for Yale money here. I'm not telling you to run to the window with Dartmouth, but just be careful there. This is intriguing. Rotation number 613, 614, Rhodey at St. Bonaventures. St. Bonnie opened at 8.5, now 9 at Westgate and South Point and Caesars.
Yeah, $7,500 so far, Jeff, and 86% of the money, 64% of tickets on St. Bonaventure.
Bonnie Public, darling, like Davidson. Last year, the Bonnies had an amazing run. I think they cashed 17 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Different team. I think the number was a little high, hoping to attract some Rhodey money, who is not doing that well this year. They need Hurley back there as a coach, but they won't get him thanks that he's at Uconn. I would tend to lean the dog here. Keep an eye on that one. If we do, everyone watching and listening, I had talked to Scott prior to the show. If we do a closing bell, I'm going to try to get that one out at 4:00. That will be on my timeline either which way there. All right. We've been talking about Izzo's Army. We've been waiting for them to take off like Oregon, and guess what? They just aren't doing it. So boy, oh boy, Vegas begging for money here. It's a 7:00 start, rotation 6:15, 6:16. Michigan State at Iowa. This line opened at 6.5, now 6. 5.5 at Westgate from our friends, Mr. John Murray and Miss Taylor Mathis. We'll be seeing you guys in 20 days. 83% of the bets, 95% of the money on Michigan State.
Yeah, this doesn't show that. This is 16,000, which is the highest bet game so far on the day. And 69% of the money is on Iowa, 73% of the tickets on Michigan State.
I mean, listen, Iowa is one of these teams when they are clicking and they're at home, they can blow your doors off. This Michigan State is just struggling. I'm not saying they're not in the tournament, but their wheels are falling off. They need to get it together. I mean, this is an absolute coin toss. I would stay away from it. I don't know what you're going to get from Michigan State. On the other side, I think this is an Iowa team that if that other Michigan State team shows up, Iowa wins by double digits. So it's a game that I definitely would be staying away from. Rotation number 621, 622, Buffalo at Miami of Ohio. Buffalo opened at 5.5, now 5. And yet I'm showing 75% of the bets and 50% of the money on Buffalo.
Yeah, this doesn't have much interest to everybody right now. Only $2,200 on the game, but 97% of the money, 91% of the tickets on Buffalo.
So there's a little reverse line movement on Miami of Ohio right now. Stench of the night, or one of the stenches of the night, rotation number 629, 630. College of Charlestown at Northeastern, and Northeastern got us a few times. They are horrific this year. They need Reggie Lewis and the crew back. May he rest in peace. Northeastern opened up 1. Now College of Charleston 1. It's up to 1.5 at DraftKings. 66% of the money, 66% of the bets, 73% of the money, Scott, on College of Charleston.
Yeah, numbers are similar, but this game has $1,400 on it so far, Jeff. 63% of the money and 73% of tickets on College of Charleston.
Yeah, the number was there to get the Charleston money. It smells. I think Northeastern finds a way, but they haven't found a way often this year. Just keep an eye on that one. Here's another intriguing one. 631, 632, Arkansas at Florida. Both teams coming off big wins over the weekend. Arkansas with a stellar performance at home against Tennessee on Saturday. Florida knocks off number 2 Auburn on Saturday. Yet Arkansas opened at 1. Now I got at circa Florida -1, and it's a pick across the Vegas Strip. 65% of the bets, 55% of the money on Arkansas. So some sharp money came in on Florida. Intriguing to see what your numbers are, Scott.
$6,700 bet on the game. I would have thought it may be more, but it's $6,700. 68% of the money's on Florida, 64% of the tickets on Arkansas.
Be a hell of a back-to-back win for Florida, picking off Auburn, then Arkansas. I would lean Florida here, but they've been kryptonite to us. Another team that's just been too up and down. Oklahoma at Texas Tech, 637, 638. Texas Tech opened at 10, still at 10, 9.5 at Caesars. 83% of the bets, 80% of the money on Texas Tech. I'd like to say it's a perfect letdown spot for Texas Tech after beating Texas on Saturday. But this Tech team, we talked about them weeks ago, grabbed a 30-1 on them to cut the nets down. This team is just rolling. Tough to get in front of them. An Oklahoma team that has not been playing well. Double digits is a big number, though.
Yeah, 13,000 so far on this game. It's one of the heavier bet games of the night. 81% of the money, 69% of the tickets on Texas Tech.
Yeah, I'm not going to get in front of that train. Trust me. Trust me. Just keep it. That's a lot of points. All right, the game that I've already talked about for 5 minutes, so I'll just hit on this one more time, guys. Do I think Uconn will win tonight? It's a good question. Do I think Villanova? Here's what the hard part for me tonight is this. Villanova wins tonight, guys. They have a week off till Providence comes to town, where Ken Palm has them 10-point favorites. So win today, Nova. Beat Providence next Tuesday as a 10-point favorite, and you're going to win the regular season because your last game's against Butler. There's a lot of steam coming in on Uconn. A lot. I would rather have you have that plus 500 ticket or the plus 360 ticket for them to win the Big East tournament than run into the window and betting them -2 today. That's just me. So let's break down the numbers. 53% of the bets, 59% of the money coming in on Uconn. They opened at 1. Now they're -2. They're even -2.5 at Caesars.
15,000 on this game, so it's basically the second largest game of the night so far. 58% of the money on Uconn, 70% of the tickets on Villanova.
So sharper heavy money is coming in on Uconn. I wouldn't want to leave any points on the desk either. Meaning, if you want to bet Uconn today, I'm not telling you not to. I would rather have you bet the money line -123, 127, whatever you're getting, than have them win by 1 or 2. Okay, so that's where my take on this game. I can't yell at you guys anymore. Go grab them to win the Big East tournament. Plus 360, plus 400, wherever you can get them. The gamble versus the XL Center is real. There is a huge difference. We're going to be loud. It's going to be rocking. Fox is going to be there. It's a nationally televised game. This Nova team is scrappy. They're gritty. They win every 50-50 ball. They just find ways to win. And my heart is telling me Uconn. My head is spinning right now. So just be careful there. That's enough on that one. Miami at Pitt, 641, 642. My opened at 3.5, now 4. 90% of the bets, 92% of the money. Two teams, if Miami shows up, they win by double digits. If they don't, like Florida State did, Pitt will win the game outright.
Yeah, this one's pretty heavy one-sided here. It's $15,000 on the game so far. 97% of the money, 93% of the tickets, all on Miami.
Yeah, I'm staying away there. Rotation number 645, 646, 9 p.m. start. San Diego State at Boise State. This line opened up at 2. I'm showing 64% of the bets, 52% of the money on San Diego State. I'll tell you the line opening up at 2 is a San Diego State number. They're wanting Boise State money. I would lean San Diego State here.
Yeah, only 4,000 on the game, 78% of the money on San Diego State, 54% of the tickets on Boise State.
Okay. Stench number 2 tonight, 649, 650. Alabama, Jekyll and Hyde this year at Vandy only opened at 3.5. Now, some 4.5s in the spot. I thought that opening number was really trying to attract some Bama money. 62% of the bets, 66% of the money on Bama.
Yeah, this one shows different. This is almost 10,000, 9,800. 78% of the money on Vanderbilt, 73% of the tickets on Alabama.
Yeah, they're getting what they want. I guess the ticket count on Bama, the money on Vandy. I woke up this morning. I saw this last night. I talked to a colleague and friend on VEASAN about this game. I thought the number was too low. I'm starting to really get a little leery here, so stay away. The other big stench of the night is at 11 o'clock. 655, 666, 656. UNLV at Nevada. UNLV with a huge win Saturday against Colorado State. They swept that. Now they go to Nevada, who's not good this year. Yet the game opened up a pick. Now Nevada -2. 76% of the bets, 81% of the money on Nevada. I thought it would be the other way. This was a Nevada play all day for us. I don't like how it's up them now too.
Yeah, only $4,400 so far, and I know it's a late game, so maybe it'll pick up some steam here. But 88% of the money, 64% of the tickets, all on Nevada.
Surprising. I'll have more on my timeline about that. Quickly in the NHL, Florida, Nashville, Toronto, Columbus, Toronto. You can go pound sand. I got the banana in the tailpipe Saturday and yesterday. Thanks, but no thanks. Don't worry, they'll win by 10 tonight. So Minnesota, Ottawa, St. Louis against Philly opened up -200, now 228. Philly with a hard-fought 4-3 loss yesterday. If I were to play this, I'd be leaning St. Louis puck line. Islanders at Seattle. We had the Islanders last time they played Seattle. They generally do well against teams they're supposed to beat. I'd keep an eye on the Islanders. Open at 150, now 146. I know that price is a little high. Keep an eye on them maybe in regulation. Take a look at the puck line there. San Jose at Anaheim, a San Jose's team that's struggling. Anaheim trying to get back to their early season. Open at 140, now 139 there. Scotty, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts are baseball is going through their negotiations, and I put a thing out yesterday basically just saying, hey, look, they met yesterday. I don't care how long they meet, but they met for 4 or 5 hours. I'm not in the room, just like most of the media members are not in the room. And then they start reporting on, oh, look, there's people outside. They went and took a break, or they did this, or they did that. And I'm trying to read into what's going on. And that's kind of the problem. So just understand that the owners are there. At least some of the owners are there, and some of the players are there. And these are the guys that are going to influence the deal to get done. The attorneys and the lawyers and all that stuff are there to write the contract. But these guys will negotiate this deal out. It'll get done by the end of the week. And I think we're going to have baseball. So just be careful who you listen to, what you're listening to, what the spins are, what everybody's catastrophe things are, and just don't buy into it yet. Anyway, all that being said, I put a thing out today about the National League and the DHs. It's kind of interesting that some teams are set up for them, some teams aren't, and the Atlanta Braves, boy, they're the team that's set up for the DH. I did like, some of the things that some of the other teams did, like St. Louis moving Paul DeJong to shortstop, from shortstop to the DH. That allows Sosa to play shortstop for them, makes them a better team. The Cubs and newly acquired Clint Frazier as a DH. That's a good spot for him. Whether or not he can shake the vertigo and all the other stuff that was going on in his life is another story. But Cincinnati with Mike Moustakas, that's a perfect fit because now they have India at second base and Eugenio Suarez plays third base. So now they got a spot for him. So there were some interesting things that I came across. I was looking at it, but overall, I would tell you that there's a lot of National League teams that need to fill that job.
I forwarded you some stuff that my buddy did for Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, it was 700 pages or something. I don't know. It was really big.
Yeah, no, he does the write-ups for each team. He does some projections, and then so you got the whole major league report. So again, that is something just to hold on to
Yeah, no, it's good.
But we were talking last night. I was asking him some stuff. I always talk about the Dodgers. I guess the question I'll ask, closing with you, any idea what Major League Baseball will be doing to Bauer? Meaning, Kershaw's, I guess, a free agent. Price is probably done, as he said. He was even leery of Bueller the last 2 years now on the amount of innings that he has thrown. And he even said the same thing about Urias. So I know they got a big payroll. They can go out and get anyone. But thoughts early on the National League, meaning, listen, there's no way the Giants can duplicate what they did. We're all holding our breath waiting for the Padres. If those pitchers that were hurt last year can come to the forefront and pitch with that lineup, I have no problem putting my hat on the Padres. I think the St. Louis Cardinals had a great run late. The Brewers front end pitching, as we've talked about, is fabulous. Their back end with Hader is great. I know it's early. We haven't even got to spring training. Any thoughts early? You keep talking about those Braves, and last year when they sucked, then you got the great value on them. Then the world gave them an outfield. They didn't have an outfield, and you guys gifted them an outfield. They all melded together, and the rest is history without Acuna. But just maybe a quick couple seconds thoughts early on the National League.
Well, I think just like you said, the surprise team in Major League Baseball was the San Francisco Giants, and they have aged. They have gotten older, and one of the things I always look for is career years and whether these guys are coming off career years, because ultimately you cannot expect them to perform to the career year level year in and year out. They just don't do that. And the Giants are in big trouble. Their offense is going to take some nosedives, and they don't have the young, talented players to come up. Joey Bart's going to be the catcher, and he is nowhere near the hitter that Buster Posey was. So I think that you're going to have regression crazy with the Giants. The Giants are a 500 team at best. Does that make them a team that's viable and trying to be in the playoffs? Probably so. I mean, but it's also a team that lost their best pitcher. So Kevin Gausman is no longer there. So it's a team in turmoil, and what they do in free agency will make a big difference to what that team can do. I think that the Padres last year were a team that were very hyped up and should have been hyped up. But I think they have a lot of flaws. I think they're very reliant on that starting staff. And as you can saw, that starting staff wasn't as good as what they thought they were going to be. And the kid they got from the Pirates is the guy who saved them last year. And if they weren't going to, Darvish was not the same Darvish than domination that he was in other places. And Blake Snell is, you can say what you want to about what the Rays did with Blake Snell, but he's a 5-inning pitcher, it seems like, anymore. So anyway, all that being said, the Braves are really good. I think the Mets are going to make an impact. Their lineup can be very deep and very good. With Scherzer at the top of it, and get DeGrom some point in time. And I think these guys are going to be really good, the Mets. So it'll be interesting to see how the Braves and the Mets battle each other in the East, and kind of go from there. I think St. Louis is one of those teams that have good players, and some of these guys, I think that we think about when we think about them as we think about Goldschmidt and Arenado, which we should. Those are the guys that make that make all the money. But the kid out in left field, I forget what his name is right this second, but
No, that was I keep saying Ozuna for you, but that was for your Braves left field.
Yeah, it's I'll get it. That's right. It's right here. It's
Tyler,
the
is
kid,
it
it's
O'Neill?
it's Tyler O'Neill.
Damn, I'm
People
good. Damn, I'm good.
people don't understand how good this kid was. Tyler O'Neill was great. Not only good, he was great. And they have Dylan Carlson, so they've got some guys that are younger that mix in there, and then now they can get rid of the perennial Matt Carpenter guy. Get rid of that guy, and they're a better team. But again, how long can you count on a pitching staff that has Wainwright as the number one guy on it? And I get it that Jack Flaherty is supposed to be that number one guy, but he hasn't really bounced back from that surgery and troubles that he's had. And, they picked up Steven Matz. So, I don't know what Steven Matz is going to provide for them. When he left the Mets, he was halfway decent and, he pitched for the Blue Jays and got bombed most of the time. So I'm not sure where they're going to go with that. And Miles Mikolas is a guy that, was decent and gave him some innings, but he's a soft tosser that gets shelled half the time too. So, you just got to look at it from a stance of, the division's not that great. I mean, they got to beat the Cubs and they got to beat some of these other teams that aren't that good. They got to worry about the Brewers, and the Brewers can pitch, and if they could only get their guys to rebound and hit. I think that, if what's the guy they got from Christian Yelich, if you could get Christian Yelich to play the way he was, I think that changes this team. They, I don't know what people know, but they picked up Hunter Renfroe. So they've got some guys now, and Willie Adames was a big help to them when they got him from the Rays last year. So can he do the same thing? I don't know, but in terms of where it's at, I think you got to look at the Braves. I think you got to look at the Dodgers, and the Dodgers only because they got talent everywhere, man. It doesn't matter, sure, they lost some people, but I mean, at the same time that they lost the people, they have guys that can replace them. I mean, if you think about it, you got Mookie Betts and Trey Turner, and then Justin Turner, Max Muncy, Will Smith, all those guys right there, Cody Bellinger, AJ Pollock. These are all guys that can play. And then you mix in the Austin Barnes and the Matt Beatties and the Gavin Luxes and whoever else they pick up in the offseason. I mean, it's something else. And then the pitching staff of Walker Buehler and Urias is not a problem for me. Urias, only 20-game winner in the big leagues last year. I don't know if anybody really remembers that. But I think he started 32 games or something like that, Jeff, and team wins. He won 26 of the 32 starts that his team pitched. These are guys, I think he threw 180 pitches, 185 innings, 180 innings. And I think that's the most he's ever thrown. So he's been hurt and often, and he's really young. Julio Urias, I'm looking right at him, is 25 years old. Did you know that? He's 25 years old. So I don't think there's enough wear and tear on his arm. And Walker Buehler's 27. These are their prime years. These guys are going to be good. Now Tony Gonsolin, and they picked up Andrew Heaney, and whatever. They're going to have to get some pitchers. But I think they're going to find them, and I think in their minor leagues they got guys, and then they're the Dodgers. They can spend as much money as they want.
Can't wait. Like I said, we've stayed positive the whole time, and we're going to stay positive here. Think that this will be done by the end of the week. I think that the teams and players will report early next week. Get a weekend, a stretch, and doing whatever they do. You get about 2 weeks of spring training games, and then we'll be to the end of March 31st to be exact, opening day, and then Friday will be the big day, obviously, when most of them will play. So Just want to again throw out on my timeline at EC Sports Invest, I will state whether we will have a closing bell or not tonight. If so, we're going to try to get it for 4 o'clock. Otherwise, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we'll have Andrew McGinnis. We'll be crossing the border, talking some NHL. Maybe go back and talk about Finland's surprise Olympic gold in the Olympics. Then at 4:30, myself and Scott will be back. And then Thursday and Friday, we head out to the Windy City. And we will have Colton on Thursday at 2 and Riley at 2 on Friday. A couple guests we're waiting for confirmation, some big-time players and names in our lanes. We're waiting to see if we get any of them on. So always remember this, people. If you are wagering today or investing, always wager responsibly. If you have a problem, there is an 800 number available. Pick up the phone and ask for help. Why? Because myself and Scotty care. We would like to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. For myself, Jeff Dawson at AC Sports Invest. From Scotty at 20 Webby MLB. I'm sorry. Yes, 20 MLB. At Webby 20 MLB. OMG, I apologize. Have a blessed day. Enjoy yourselves. Don't forget to turn on that TV at 8 o'clock tonight on Fox. Villanova at Uconn. And you have questions there on that, ask me. So have a blessed day, and we will see you soon.